What's up, guys? I know this video is a little bit dark with everything in the background and the only light you have is coming from my screen, but I just wanted to let you know that I just wasted the last hour and 30 minutes of my life watching this damn movie called Subject to Change. Now, this was a video that got a lot of hype on the internet from wrestling websites and wrestlers and different, different outlets as to you're going to see the inside of the indie wrestling business. You're gonna see the real, behind the curtain stuff of, the indie wrestling, promotions, and all you get is them. In my opinion, and a lot of people are going to go, "Oh, Joe, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't go to that many wrestling shows, and you don't live in the Northeast where it's real big up there." Blah 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 blah. Anyway, the only thing that I really cared about in this movie, to be honest, was the parts with Trent Acid in it, and that was because I and even then it's like, okay, the end of the story, Trent, they're gonna pop a graphic up saying that the guy overdosed, and I hate to take it that lightly, and it sounds like I'm disrespecting Trent, but I'm really not. I'm disrespecting the movie, and yes, I am, because I did not like this movie. I equate this movie to something like 101 Reasons Not to Be a Professional Wrestler. And that, yes, it's a movie, but it's like somebody went around with a little video camera, shot a bunch of indie wrestling shows, shot a bunch of little shoot interviews. We've heard the same BS from the same wrestlers 10 times over before, and they just chop it up, chop Saki it away. They take about 80 hours worth of footage they shot, chop Saki it down into an hour and a half, and force it, here's what we're going to give you. Oh, but we're going to hype it like it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. Now, granted, any movie producer, director, filmmaker would do that. I'm not telling you not to promote your movie, but give me what you say you're going to give me. And I'm sorry, but people will sit there and argue with me about this. But so far, the greatest pro wrestling documentary that I think we've seen this era is Beyond the Mat. It had structure. It told a story. It wasn't just a bunch of random clips mashed together. I mean, give me a break. There we go. Sorry. But I mean, I think that they could have done a better job of what they did. I mean, I could care less about that little I'm sorry. If I'm on Netflix and I'm a wrestling fan and I stumble across, Card Subject to Change, and has a good cover on it, and if I'm just a casual fan and I stumble across it on Netflix and I watch it, I'm not going to care about some 2-bit wrestling promotion in Jersey. And, yeah, you're okay. Dude's probably one of the biggest promoters up there. And, sorry. Had to flip a switch on the truck there. See, I don't claim to be a filmmaker. Anyway. I mean, actually, I'll take that back. Beyond the Mat was second. The Heroes of World Class documentary that came out a while back was probably one of the best wrestling documentaries I've ever seen. It had a topic, it stuck to it, and it didn't deviate too much from it. Now, granted, this one says, oh, it's about the indie side of pro wrestling and all. I'm just, come on, man. Really? Could have done better. I'm glad I didn't have to pay to watch it. I'm glad it was a part of my Netflix subscription. I would not buy this movie on DVD. I wouldn't download this movie. Now that I've seen it, I wouldn't download this movie illegally. That's how I feel about it, folks. Card Subject to Change. Thumbs down. Sorry, no. I mean, it was boring. Flat out boring. And I just hope that, next time somebody decides to make a wrestling documentary or a documentary about the independent side of pro wrestling. Now, I will say I did like the part with Rhett Titus. I will say that, because I'm a big Rhett Titus fan. I like the parts with Rhett Titus. I like the parts with, kind of tugs at your heart a little bit on that one part where his son is sitting there, and he's got a really cute kid, by the way. He made me chuckle, but then it also is like, oh, when you see his son going, Why do you gotta go wrestle, Dad? I want to come watch you. That's the only part of the movie that I really liked. It's the only part of the movie that made me really feel about these guys and what they have to go through out there on the independent circuit. You know? I mean, you know, I expected more bang for my buck and I didn't get it. I did not get it. That's all I'm going to say about this movie. A lot of people are going to say, oh, this is the greatest movie since sliced bread, and I'm not looking at it, you know, the way I should. Well, you tell me how I'm supposed to look at this movie. And if I get an inclination from you guys about maybe I looked at it differently, and maybe if I'm giving a different view on how to look at this movie, I'll go back and rewatch it, and I'll post a second video about, yes, maybe now that I looked at it from this point of view instead of that point of view, and you know, I'll go back and rewatch the movie. But until then, guys, I will have to say avoid this. You know, it's not that good. I thought it's funny how they build this guy as a real hot shot promoter, and then his biggest show of the year in a baseball stadium, it looked like maybe there were about 100 people in the crowd. And then they get to a real promotion where Rhett Titus and all them are wrestling at, and Necro Butcher, or excuse me, Trent Acid and Necro Butcher are wrestling for CZW, and then they pack the arena. Which, my thoughts on that, I'm real sad that the arena got sold. That was really kind of a hotbed in the Northeast for pro wrestling. Now they're having to try to scramble and find, you know, other areas in the Northeast to run at. I don't think there'll ever be an arena, as far as on the independent level, that will ever equal that building. I don't think, you know, that was like the Madison Square Garden of independent wrestling, was the arena. You go, you wrestle in the arena, you wrestle up in the arena, and people will know who you are. And, you know, either they love you or they're going to hate you, but that's the way it is. If you want to get known, and if you want to, you know, be in front of a lot of people, you go to Philly, you went to the arena, and that's where you got noticed. I mean, ever since ECW closed, it's been that way. You know, I mean, that was, like I said, that was the mecca of independent wrestling. As my phone goes off. But, they, you know, I'm really sad that building got torn down, and it got like maybe a 5-minute mention in the, documentary. I was real sad to see that maybe, you know, Ring of Honor or even CZW did not want to take part in this. I would have much rather seen a documentary about CZW or Ring of Honor. You know, Ring of Honor's coming up on their 10th anniversary. Well, they passed their 10th anniversary, excuse me. You know, I really liked when TNA did the Gear 1 DVD. I would love to see Ring of Honor sit down and, yes, include Gabe fucking Sapolsky. I would love to have, you know, them sit down and maybe do like with people who made that promotion what it is, like Sid, Tommy Cruz, or Bobby Cruz, excuse me, Kerry Silkin, Jim Cornette, Samoa Joe, you know, people, you know, Gabe Sapolsky, sit down in like a round table thing and do like maybe like maybe have like somebody like a Sean Oliver moderate this, or somebody, you know, I mean, have somebody to moderate it, but do like a round table discussion about the 10 years of Ring of Honor, and just get all the cards out on the table, tell the fans how it was running it, you know. But maybe that'll never happen, I don't think. I mean, it'd be nice to see it, you know, and put it out on DVD. But yeah, card subject to change, big thumbs down from me. I heard that the Rock and Cena special was really good. Hopefully I'll catch it on YouTube. Excuse me, on YouTube. So yeah, there we go. My review. Card subject to change. Card subject to change. It ought to be card subject to refund. Because if I paid to see that movie, I would want a refund. So yeah, card subject to refund. It's just that. I'm Trucker Joe, and we'll see you down the road.